geometry, there is a theorem that you could have, if you had recognized it from the beginning, you might have noticed it from the beginning. There's a theorem in geometry that said, it's called the triangle inequality theorem, and it says that any two sides of a triangle have to sum to be greater than the third side. So if you look at those sides, I think, hold on. So if I have these pieces, so I got these two legs of a triangle, they have to sum to be greater than the third side. And in this case, with these legs of this triangle, they don't. There's no way for me to make these sides make a triangle. It can't happen. There's no way for me, I can't close this triangle up. It won't work. So if you look at this, 5 plus 10 is only 15, and 15 is not greater than 20. So before I ever did this problem, I could have looked at it and said, this isn't a triangle.
So basically we did all that for nothing.
Yeah.
Okay.
But let's be honest. What I do want you to know is, I mean, when let's say we're taking the test on Thursday, this test has a lot of stuff on it. So you're going to be working along. Are you really going to stop and think, hey, triangle inequality theorem, will that triangle work? Probably not. But if you get an error in your calculator, what do we usually think when we get an error in our calculator?
We get it wrong.
We think we did something wrong. But in this case, it's not you doing something wrong. If you get an error, now it might be something wrong. So if you get an error, what should you do?
Check it.
Go back and check the side links and make sure. The two sides always have to add up to be greater than the third side. And on this one they do. 4 plus 5 is 9, and 9 is greater than 6. 5 and 6 is 11, that's greater than 4. 4 and 6 is 10, and that's greater than 5. So this one works, 2 won't work. And that's just triangle inequality theorem. Okay, so now on number 3, use law of sines to find the measure of angle B.
So after I did my square, that's what I got. And that's when I square that. And I minus it over.
Yeah.
I got that.
Okay.
And then when I do this, I got 58.9. And then I
Should be negative because this is negative.
But I minus the 2 from this.
No, you shouldn't do that. This is connected to this.
Oh, okay.
Sorry.
This is exactly why I hate math.
Do I have this set up right first? And then where are we going?
So it's part of it.
I got a 0 because I mix matched 2 things in a question. No. No, I have the 289 and the 162 switch and changed the whole engine. Not really big deal.
Wait, so what is this question asking me to do?
Probably 50 plus this weekend. Can't you just do that?
All right. This one is asking me to find the measure of angle B. So since it was looking for an angle, I set it up with angles on top. So I did sine 36 over 9, because that's the one matching ratio that I have, equals sine B over 5. Because is everybody good with the setting up of the law of sines? All right, so now we have to solve. So I'm going to multiply both sides by 5. And then I've got an inverse sign, because I need to get B by itself. I'm going to put that whole thing in my calculator.
This one here,
Yes.
I made 100, but it gave me a 50 because it's late.
That's okay, I'll fix it.
You just not finished? What?
Hey man, some people work at different paces, alright?
Oh, yeah, okay.
All right,
I'm a fast worker, but some people want to
so I got 19.1 angle B. Now, it says explain why no other possibilities exist. We'll come back to that in just a minute. Go ahead and try number 4 and tell me what you get.
One?
working in before.
You know, thoughts on your play?
Yeah.
How do you
Do
come
I
out
have
there?
this set up right?
Okay, speaking from experience here.
Sweet cosine.
What?
Okay, so it's always going to be, you don't ever use anybody with the cosine, so it would be cosine 78.
78. Okay, so then what? How do I get the?
My dad?
Adjacent.
Is the x supposed to?
He's not here.
You have the X mark.
It's supposed to be with cosine though, or no?
Huh?
Okay,
No.
No.
No, you're not. You going all the way back to the old sine, cosine, and tangent.
Okay, which one do you need?
Oh, just then
Oh,
all.
why did I write B there? I was supposed to write 5. Okay, so I got this far. 36 is my angle, 4 and 5, right?
36, 4, and 5. Yes.
Oh, wait, whoa, I put my 5 in a different, no, I
It
didn't.
doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Just as long as it's across from angle B. Doesn't matter what your picture looks like.
And
Oh,
then
wait,
it's
no,
just supposed to
okay,
be
I did
cosine.
that right. No, I
Okay,
didn't. Yes, I did.
Sine of 36 over 4 equals sine of B over 5.
When's my first test?
Thursday.
What?
Multiply by 5.
Why does it do that?
I don't know.
Inverse sine.
Yeah, but all we use.
I realized that.
Hi.
I
love how casually you
Why does it do that?
What?
He wants to touch you.
No,
I'm aware, man.
Imagine somebody just defaulting that as tag.
It keeps saying that I
You
have
don't-
an
I
error
think
in my
context
computer. I don't
says
understand
why.
why.
Yeah, the context is like he's a minor and I'm an adult.
I swear to God.
What'd you get? Ew, how old are you?
I'm 18.
Oh, yeah.
It's just
I'm like sure dead.
47.
cosine and then 30.
Okay,
I'm here.
so on B it tells me to determine the other possible measures for angle B.
I'm 17.
You're 17.
Alright, so let me explain something about sine, cosine, and tangent to you really quick. And we actually did one the other day, if you remember. We had an obtuse triangle, and in the obtuse triangle we drew in the height, and the height was outside the triangle. And we had to use a piece outside the triangle, but it's okay because sine works the same way, whether it's with an acute angle and an obtuse angle. So, your calculator only knows to give you an acute angle.
I'm not an acute angle.
But well, I shouldn't say it only knows to give you an acute angle. It can give you an obtuse angle, but it only gives you an obtuse angle if that's the only angle that exists at a place. But it is possible for there to be a triangle that has two legs that are the same size, but an angle that is obtuse or an angle that is an acute. For example, I have an orange leg and a yellow leg here, and this is an acute triangle, right? That's an acute isosceles triangle, and it has an orange leg and a yellow leg. Well, here I have an orange leg and a yellow leg in the same in another triangle, but this is an obtuse triangle. Well, sine, if you were using these two leg lengths, the calculator has no way of knowing which of these two triangles that you're talking about. It doesn't know if you're talking about the acute version or the obtuse version. Your calculator is, by default, going to give you the acute angle. The way that you find the obtuse angle is by subtracting 180, because the two angles that use those two side lengths form a linear pair. So for this angle, I would go 180 minus 47.3, and that gives me a whole nother angle. 180 minus 47.3, that gives me 132.7.
It changes my angle on everything.
It does. It's going to change everything. So what we know for sure is that angle A was 36, and now we're saying angle B could be either one of these two angles.
Yeah, I don't like that.
Well, sorry, but it is what it is. So 180 minus 132.7 minus 36 does in fact leave me room for angle C to be 11.3.
Oh, you
Now,
have to do the two different.
if we go back to this triangle, it gave me, the calculator gave me 19.1. So if I check to see if there might be an obtuse angle at that same place, I would do 180 minus 19.1. And it gives me 160.9. But they told me at the very beginning that angle A was 36. So could angle B be 160.9? No, because that's too big to make a triangle. That is why no other possibilities exist. Because 160.9 plus 36 degrees is greater than 180. So that can't be a triangle, but this can be. So it is possible, we learned at the top of the page, that no triangles exist. It is also possible, like number 3, that one triangle exists. Or, like number 4, it is possible that 2 triangles exist. So if you'll flip over to the back, if you're still kind of having trouble grasping what I'm talking about, they did one for us, or they drew an actual set for us of 2 triangles that exist with the exact same sides and angle measures. So if we're going to find angle E, let's set up the triangle on the left. We're not going to solve it yet, but let's just set it up. So if I'm looking for angle E, I have angle D, so I'm going to do sine of 50 over 10 equals sine of E over 12. Now don't solve it yet, but let's go over here and do this one. Okay, same thing, I want to find angle E. So I set up sine of 50 over 10 equals sine of E over 12. Now notice, those 2 equations are exactly the same. Even though the 2 triangles aren't the same. Triangles are different, but the equations are the same. So let's go ahead and solve A. So I'm going to multiply by 12. And then inverse sine. It gave me 66.82. If I look at these 2 triangles and I look at angle E, which one of them has an angle that looks more like 66.82? Triangle A or triangle B? A, because it's acute. So this is 66.8. This one over here is obtuse. The only way to get that obtuse, it will be a linear pair with this one, the one that the calculator gave me. So I'm going to do 180 minus that angle. And that gives me 113.2. Now we find angle F the same way we've been doing it all along. So I do 180 minus the 2 angles that I now know. So for triangle A, angle F is 63.2. For triangle B, so we're talking 2 totally separate triangles here. They just happen to have the same 3 measurements that they gave us. Is everybody sort of following? All right, so we have to find side F. Now that I know angle F, I can find side F. So I would do 10 over sine 50 equals F over sine of 63.2. We've got 11.7. And over Here I'm going to do the same thing, but my angle is different.
Why you can't allow cosine?
For this paper, you have to do it to figure out each angle.
You have to remember.
No, I'm gonna read the paper from yesterday.
All right, are y'all okay?
That's just
Sort of? Okay, so before we go do the ones on the bottom, I'm going to give you some measurements, and I want you to tell me, all I want you to tell me is whether or not there is 1, 2, or no triangles with these measurements.
1, 2, or none?
Oh, Miss Brian, the calculators are killing me.
There's nothing wrong with the calculator.
Yeah.
There's
She's
something
giving me
wrong
error.
with her.
Whoa.
Okay, so those are your measurements. Now you tell me whether there's 1, 2, or none at that place. Oh,
Guaranteed.
No, it has to be 3.
Hold on, just a second.
So one's an angle, you don't have all.
Oh.
There's 2.
My bad. Dos. I'm not even gonna do it.
That's what.
Are you guessing?
No.
No, we are making intellectual. What's the word? Like
Educated guess, a hypothesis.
yeah.
And thirdly, based off the measurements we've been given, it is proper to think that there would be 2 triangles.
You should put this on the announcements tomorrow. You
This?
It's not that.
Or that voice?
Yes.
Am I doing this one? Well, I guess.
You put it
Now we're
in
teaching them trigonometry.
These are signs.
Trigonometry.
Okay, that is.
Hey
Well, if
guys,
you
we'll talk about trig.
Yeah, that's opposite
Yep.
of hypothesis. This, it's for this one.
Welcome back to your Pojo News. Today we're talking about trig and why it makes
Oh, wait,
you
and
want
let's
for the
come
trig
from-
group.
Wait,
Hold on, hold on.
you should just be, is it this one?
That would be funny. How would we get that down so fast?
I don't think Miss
That was
Taylor would allow
So
that.
wait,
She'd find it funny, but she wouldn't allow
you're
it.
looking for
It
angles.
was almost a circle.
So you should just,
But I need to figure out each angle, right?
so now you use left sign.
There should be like
Yeah.
another
Yeah.
YouTube channel. Is it like Pojo News?
Okay, so let's look. If I plug this in,
Pojo News explicit.
A, B,
Pojo
C,
News Unleashed.
they gave me 38 degrees and 17, and then B is 21. So let's look for angle B. So I would do sine of 38 over 17 equals sine of B over 21. So I'm going to multiply both sides by 21. And then inverse sine.
Why did it just?
All right, so if I put this in my calculator,
It just keeps saying there's something wrong with it.
I should probably start doing it like that. That would make it a lot easier to see if I did it.
okay, so I got angle B to be 49.5. So if I do 180 minus 49.5, that would be 130.5, and my original angle was 38. That's less than 180, which means there's 2 triangles right here.
What did we tell you? You got it. Are you guessing? No. We're educated guessing.
Okay? How about,
Here's 2. There's 1. Let's go. Let's see.
Oh, you know,
There's 1. There's
Steady
2.
down.
I don't understand.
I'll explain this now.
It just keeps giving me error even after I fixed it. And I did the multiplication symbol.
What was it?
do you understand what we're doing right now? Because what we're
Yeah.
doing right now is kind of confusing, so.
Oh yeah, because you're finding for each of the.
Sometimes
Angles.
I like to make fun of myself. Like, there's no silence, I put it up there.
Inside.
Yeah, and sides.
Kaylin, what did you get for X?
All right, so I got measure of angle B to be 33.9. So if I do 180 minus 33.9,
But there's already.
I get
angle B.
146.
You already gave us angle B.
Oh, well, I didn't mean angle B, I meant angle A, sorry. I get 146.09, and 146.09 plus the original 93 is too big.
That
So
means there's only one.
there's one.
Great, great.
What did I do wrong here?
I didn't know, I got 34. It was,
That's what I got, 33.9, 34.
well, no, like I got exactly 34.
Wow.
So
Or-
we've only got about
it's like
3 minutes left.
34 points.
Wow.
Yeah, I was going, I have a cross session scheduled, like, as soon as I walk out the door.
Okay, try that one.
There's only gonna be none, there's gonna be none.
So there's one.
Nice shot, I guess.
I just got the phone, bro, I gotta go.
Nice shot, I guess.
Alright, Ms. Bohan. Only anytime we.
I'm gonna break the yacht tonight.
Ms. Bohan, I know you wouldn't be the nicest teacher ever, and open my quizzes for me,
No triangle.
so that I open them before I leave, and then I can go home.
There's tons.
That's
There's
obviously
none.
one. But it's a ton of triangles.
You know what I'm saying, Ms. Bohan?
I told you it was nine, didn't I? And they got it.
Yeah.
So, I think all that traumatizing stuff you told me, Ryan, yesterday,
I got yesterday.
what you told me yesterday.
Then,
What day was it, when she started talking about the kids that were killed?
Something's wrong
Yesterday.
because it's too big,
I have no signal.
because the number that's in here inside of the inverse line is too big.
That would make
So
sense.
I don't know if this side measurement's wrong, or if you should have back, maybe you flipped them, converted them or something. But that 17.8 is needed.
I don't understand, because I don't have issues before, I don't understand why it's.
Okay. Just let me know.
I think I'll get a shake, but always it's really cold, maybe not.
From what?
Exactly.
Does that sound like a good idea to you, Ms. Bohan?
What?
Freeze my tears and be able to.
We have 1 minute, so then you open my quizzes, and then I can go do them. After Ms. Bohan. Me too. Just number 2, though.
You didn't know anything. Yeah, it is.
It's too late to do number 2.